Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to another roster breakdown with myself and TJ. Today it's going to be the MLL team Essential Gaming. Right, so Essential Gaming is not sort of an unknown team. They've got some phenomenal players and I vouch for quite a few of these players myself. Their roster being Noise Overlord, Tranq, Andromeda, I'm Annoying, Ready Phoenix on support, Walker TV and Crixus as his subs. Support is Ready Phoenix, I Am Annoying is your DPS player, Andromeda, here's a surprise, on DPS. Off Tank is Tranq, and Noise Overlord is your main tank. Now let's quickly run down this roster quickly as we just did. So let's first and foremost, Noise Overlord, team captain and drafter, I do believe. No, he's not going to be a drafter. That's going to be Andromeda. There's no way that he's going to be drafting. Andromeda will be. Noise is a pretty new player to the competitive scene that I'm aware of, unless he changed his name prior to that. Moving on to Tranq Off Tank. Now, Tranq has a wealth of experience, okay? He played in the console scene on both PS4 and Xbox. He's played on PC competitively, and he was also a tryout for Fate Esports. Very good player.
Also, sub for Infected Dragons as well last season.
Sub for Infected Dragons last season. Their DPS player, the first one, Andromeda. Now, where do I start with Andro? Andro is one of the highest tier 3 players that is in the market. Andromeda, I will vouch for 100%, played for Fate for over a year and a half, in fact nearly 2 years. He was our main tank player. We could have moved him around to the off-tank player. He does play DPS. He's got a wicked Charlene and Liam, believe it or not, so, whether he plays anything else, I don't know. Again, an amazing player. I do highly think that having Andromeda picking up Andromeda is fantastic. You've got I Am Annoying, DPS player for him. Now, he's one of the longest standing ones in the roster, along with Noise Overlord, I do believe. Again, great DPS player. The support player, Ready Phoenix. Again, she was actually a sub for Fate Esports. Her numbers were massive. Like, we did tryouts, and Ready Phoenix was putting out numbers that far surpassed everybody, like bar one other player who was on for support. And both of them, yeah guys, guess what, they're both girls. See, girls can play, take that. Big up to my friends, like, all the girls out there in esports, awesome, keep doing a good job. But yeah, Ready Phoenix put out some incredible numbers. She's got great position, a little bit lacking on the map awareness and positional awareness to where her two tanks are. I give her a lot of advice on how to, compensate for that. Walker TV, I don't actually know anything about. Don't know who this guy is. Crixus, actually been in the scene for a while. I haven't seen much of him lately though. So I'm wondering where this team is going to go. I've seen him in a couple of tournaments over the last couple of months, but like whether that was their old roster or was it this new roster, I don't know. What have you seen from them?
Well, as I say, in looking at a recent record, I was unable to actually find much for Essential recently, that is. Not this, obviously, they're playing tournaments a couple of months ago. I can't look quite that far back. This is why we have Jay with us, who is our Wikipedia of tournament knowledge, and he will be able to tell you. But, this team has made some interesting pickups. We've already mentioned Andromeda and with two Fate, ex-Fate players as well in this roster as well. So even though Fate are not with us, they're still technically with us with other players. And also Jay. Yep, so Andromeda, again, Jay picked this up on us earlier at the start, but Andromeda, when he was playing in Season 1, he was the frontline player for Fate. He's now being put onto the DPS for Essential right now. And Season 1, he was definitely a standout frontline player. I'm just looking at where he placed in our a bunch of top fives. So Andromeda, he was 4th for total objective time. Of course, we were definitely with support actually having more objective time than anything. But he was one of the highest frontliners to actually have the objective time as well. He did top shielding, over 815,000 shielding stats. He's also in highest eliminations.
Yeah, he was a part of most of Fate's eliminations throughout the entire Season 1. It was fantastic.
So the only one beating him on elims, well, for Fate. So the top 5 total elims in the entire tournament was basically 4 Fate players, and now came from Leviathan. So Andromeda's had 258 behind Bloxer and Slashwine, and also Chubby as well as supporting DPS. In terms of, also, he was 4th in the total amount of credits for the entirety of last season. Behind, again, Slashwine and Chubby Plum.
Yeah. So the one thing about Andromeda I will say is that he has a wealth of experience under his belt now. Now, we let him go for personal reasons, and, you know, we won't get into that, but cracking player. I vouch for him. I think he's one of the best tank players in the Tier 3 scene. Like all of MLL, like World War Tournament, ESL, all these Tier 3 tournaments, he's one of the best, all right? And he knows what it's like to be under pressure. He went to the championship finals in Season 1. Sadly, came second, lost in the decider on Timbermill. One of the best. That was
stinging for a while, Jay, weren't it?
I can't. It bugs me that it was Timbermill, the decider map. I was just like, I even said it on stream. I was like, really, this is what it comes down to. Season 1, Leviathan versus Fate Esports. On Timbermill. Nobody plays the map because it's not a competitive map. It's a joke. And we'd run out of maps. So,
anyway, yeah.
I think having him on the roster for Essential Gaming is one of those things that you have to think as Essential. Like, Noise is the team captain. He's got to be going, I've got a cracking team right now. I've got a very, very strong roster. And another thing, like we were saying in the previous video about like predictions, everybody's sleeping on Essential, including myself. It's not till I sit down and I look at this roster and I think about the possibilities, what could happen with this roster, where it could go, what they could do, that I start thinking maybe we've all got this wrong. Like literally, we might got all this wrong.
Yeah, so okay, so segueing into predictions. So for me, when I look at the inclusion of Andromeda and Tranq, so as I said, Jay's listed exactly how much experience these players have, and when you're picking up a team and you have a player who's got that much experience, how much you actually add into that team is ridiculous. So obviously, if you've been playing the game for a lot of time, you've got a lot of competitive experience, so as you say, you know what it's like to be under pressure, you know what it's like to have advantages and how to deal with them, you know how it's like to try and get back into the game. In drafts as well, you know how to play to your strengths a lot more. You have that trial and error thing. So having both Andromeda from Fate, I think that's a fantastic pickup for Essential. I'm interested to see what he does on DPS, because of
I can answer that. I can actually answer why Andromeda is on DPS. He just got tired of playing tanks. In the last stages of Fate, when we knew that this could come to an end because certain people weren't happy, there was fallouts and stuff like that, but he was just tired of playing tanks. One of the best tank players on the market, but he's tired of playing tanks. He felt like playing like the Inaras, the Khans was boring. The only time he really wanted to play tank is when we put him on the Ash. But when we put him on the Ash, you look at the results we got. We won pretty much everything. The only time we lost was to Leviathan. And
yeah, that was week 1 as well.
Yeah, we lost in week 1. So we took a heavy loss in week 1 to Leviathan. In fact, he was playing Ash at that point because we had a Bright Marsh game against him, if I recall correctly. I can't remember. Was it Bright Marsh?
Just very quickly have a look. Jaguar Falls. No, not sorry.
No,
yeah, it was Jaguar Falls and Frozen Guard.
I was going to say Frozen Guard, then Jaguar. Yeah, Frozen Guard was our pick. Jaguar Falls was theirs. Frozen Guard, at that time in Season 1, we were like the strongest team on it. Like, we were incredibly strong on it. But then I think it was like halfway through the season. It fell apart. Yeah, it fell apart. He just wasn't very happy on the tanks. I think he wanted, that's why we started going on to that solo tank. We did see him on the Charlins. We saw him on the Lians. We tried him out on different things throughout practices and scrims and stuff. But yeah, he just got tired of it. But now that's the reason why he's on DPS, and he is a cracking DPS player. So, right. So let's go into predictions and hopes for season 2. TJ, or do you want me to go first?
I'm just gonna come straight out and say it. I think I've got. You know when you just have to go with your gut feeling. Like when I look at this roster, when I look at the experience it's got, the pickups, and as you say, Noise Overlord's probably thinking, "Damn, this is going to be great." I've got a really good feeling about this team. Everything from my own experiences in playing competitive tells me that this is going to be a good team because of what it's like to get experienced plays and what they add. So having Andromeda and Tranq, also as Jay, as you vouched for Ready Phoenix as well, I think this is a playoff team. My predictions, I've gone for I think this is a playoff team.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to come straight out and say it.
You're going.
I'm throwing my chips on the table. You know, I'm going to say 4th place straight out. I just have a good feeling about this team.
Okay. I don't know if I'd go that far. I know that I've got my prediction because I had them in last, I think. But the only reason I said that is because I saw Ready Phoenix's tweet. She put a tweet out saying I'm taking a break or whatever it was she put out. I can't remember. And I was like, right, so that means they've got to bring in a new support. Because I don't know if that was about personal life or what, you know, whatever. But I daren't ask, you know, I don't want to be rude. But I think it's a matter of if it's Paladins, then they've got till Friday to bring in a support player, right? So I don't know if Essential Gaming are playing in the tournament today.
No, they're not.
Right. So to me, that raises alarm bells, right? So, but then again, they've got 2 subs that they can bring in, and like I say, throughout the season, you can switch and swap your subs. All you have to do is say, "Admin, this person's coming out, and we're putting this player in." Don't even have to give a reason. As long as it's on your sub list, off you go. So, right, for me, I think I've got this wrong, but on my predictions, I've got them not very high. But I think, yeah, I got them. That's got them last. But I think it's like 8th, 7th, 6th, and 5th. The bottom 4 can be any one, like Brutal Fisher, Ico, Essential, maybe Nova 8. But who knows? Yeah,
I do agree. Like in my predictions, like when I was thinking for it, because I had this so like we recorded the first 4 roster breakdowns yesterday, and then literally that night I had kind of like a mental breakdown. It's like, oh my god, I've got this all wrong. I was questioning everything, but it's like I had my top 3 in mind, and the more I look into it, it's going to stick. Obviously, in the further roster breakdown I'm going to do later on, you'll see who is my team I've got down for 3rd. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely going to be Eden, definitely going to be Character Judgment. Then 4th and 5th, it's between Essential and Brutefy, because again, Brutefy with the roster they have, and it's been a bit more consistent roster. They could go to players, as we discussed in our first roster breakdown.
Do we know if Brutal Fisher are playing any tournaments at the minute? Because like they're lacking and not playing tournaments. That's a problem. Like
they've not entered this one, but
when was the last tournament they entered? Do you know?
I honestly don't. To be honest,
it's been over. Let's put it this way: if it's over a week, then the hype around Brutal Fisher is about to drop big time. So, well, anyway, that's another video. But I think.
But yeah, that bottom 4 teams that could go anyway. It is so close between them.
Yeah, I think it can go in either way. I think I slept on Essential a bit because I feel like if Phoenix does play, if she plays, I think this team, especially with Tranq and Andromeda, that's a team that is, like, to me, fantastic. Not high tier 3, but it's definitely a mid-table tier 3 team. So, like, just imagine.
Could it be a team that, as the league goes on, like, assuming that the roster that we have in front of us actually plays. You know, if any problems resolve themselves, is this going to be a team that's going to like warm up and then literally from like week 5 and week 6 and week 7 are just going to be this super team straight away?
Depends if Andromeda gets tired of the tank players. If he gets a bit salty with the tank players and he switches to tank, then yeah. Because in the entire league, other than Moa and Midnight May, I don't think there's anybody that's on his level of being a tank. I will say that now. There is nobody in this league other than Midnight May and Moa, and barely at that, I might add. I still say Andromeda is the best tank in the league right now, even though he's playing DPS. So he is a better tank than Midnight May and Moa. They're very close to him, but he's got the experience. He's got the placements to prove where he is, and he played tank at that level. So, to me, if he doesn't get fed up of the tanks and says, right, I'm playing tank, put me on Ashe, put me on Calm, put me on the barracks, you know, yeah, maybe. I mean, if he goes back to tank, then I'm gonna then everybody on the MLL season 2 is in a bit of trouble because he can go into 1v3 and still win the fight. We saw that in season 1. He did it like 3 or 4 games, in fact, over a period of like 4 weeks, where he'd go in, dive in, get the Ashe ult, get the stuns, pelt them, pick up kills, and the follow up with blocks and slash, and it was fantastic. But I don't know. It depends. It depends on how this team synergizes, because obviously these are all new players coming in. No, not new players, but the players.
It's a new roster. It's a new roster, team.
Yeah, and you've got to have the synergy. Are they going to have the synergy that Brutal Fisher has? Are they going to have the synergy that Eden has? You know, those are the questions you need to ask when they fight them. And
also, if we're talking about synergy, ID. Their 3 core members are still intact.
Yep. That's a good call. Yep.
Yeah. But again, I think going on my personal experience in the competitive scene, I know that if you change one player, literally, it feels like you have to go back to the drawing board. You have to pretty much relearn everything.
It changes the dynamic of the team, right? That one player where you're so used to the way the other player moves, you put this other guy in. Say we've got a passive-aggressive player that likes to hold back, for instance, right? And then, right, so Tranq, not perfect example. Both these 2 players are on the same team. Tranq is a passive-aggressive tank player. Andromeda, he's full in your face, kick your ass, he'll knock your teeth down the back of your throat. He wants to fight. Yeah, he's that aggressive. All right? And if those 2... I mean, obviously, if he plays tank, that is. He's not going to. He's playing DPS. If he gets bored and he says, no, I'm going on to tank, give me the tank role, then this could cause massive issues, because you've got Tranq and... Well, no, I guess they could just go Tranq onto, defensive tank point sit, like the Inaras and whatnot. And then you've got Ashe and Barracks and the Khans, that sort of thing. I think that's where we're going to see something. And another thing, he's got a pocket pick Grok as well, just for the record. He likes to play Grok. So, who knows? Right, closing thoughts on Essential Gaming.
Closing thought, it's a team that people are sleeping on. I've got my gut feeling, and again, I don't know. I don't know what it is about this roster that I have high hopes for it. I don't know, it's just weird. You just get these feelings sometimes.
I don't know about it. I personally think there's too much emotion, too much... it's too fresh, right? So to me, this is a hit and miss team. That's why I've got them so low down. Because if they start to lose, people are going to get tilted. And I've seen it before so many times. It was one of the reasons about Andromeda that I didn't like him. I did, not personally. Personally, he's like a little brother to me. I love the guy, but he, rather than tilting his team, he tilts himself first before tilt these teams. So, yeah. So, ladies and gents, that is the closing thoughts on Essential Gaming. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and this series that we are putting out for you. If you have, leave a comment below, like the video, subscribe, and you know what, share the videos. We are getting tons, and when I say tons, I mean hundreds of views on these videos. You guys are freaking fantastic. The support and hype for MLL Season 2 is absolutely fantastic. We love you all. You guys are freaking awesome. We'll see you in the next video.